Opera Colorado has a diverse and varied amount of education programs that we do throughout the state of Colorado and even into Wyoming. We have field trips that happen right at the Ellie Calkins Opera House. Then we have once a year a student matinee, which is a special abridged version of an opera that we do for elementary and middle school students. And then one of our most popular programs is our backstage workshops. That's when the Opera House becomes a living classroom and students tour throughout to different stations to learn what it takes to create an opera. Opera Colorado serves about 30,000 students every year through our programs. We have programs called Opera on Tour, which is where we take an abridged opera, fully staged in costumes, directly into the schools. This year we're doing Hansel and Gretel and Carmen, and that's a wonderful way for kids to get exposed to opera for the first time and see it really on an intimate level. Then we also have Opera in a Trunk, and that is a program that we take into the schools with a steamer trunk and prepare students to see an opera. It's a hands-on interactive activity where they dress up in costume and act out scenes from the opera. We also teach in-school workshops, and one of our most exciting and new programs is Generation OC. That is our residency program where we're in schools for an extended period of time, and students are learning creative writing, singing, different things like that, and really applying the 21st century workforce readiness skills, but using arts as the catalyst.
Programs like this are important for me as a teacher because it's important for the students to see that the performing arts actually goes farther than just the classroom. And it's important for them to get excited and be involved and learn actually what goes on behind the scenes, which they did an excellent job today of showing us also.
Teachers today have an incredible challenge ahead of them. They're asked to do so much and meet so many different standards, and the standards are changing pretty regularly. So programs like Opera Colorado's education programs really help teachers bring the arts into their classroom in a way that makes sense for them. It boosts their curriculum, it incorporates the arts into every subject matter, and it really is a support to them in what they have to do every day.
Some of them will be very excited to possibly perform more. I have a couple of my students are in the choir here, and this will only inspire them to continue on. And I think it also, the ones who aren't so much performers, they become more interested in stories, especially when you see them on stage that they are familiar with, gets them much more interested in the theater, and I think that that's a great thing for young children to be involved in.
I like singing a lot, and I like that it was like telling the story with only singing. I just liked that it was opera Hansel and Gretel because I've only heard the story in a book, and watching it and actually seeing the play and in opera was really cool.
Our programs sometimes may be overlooked. Opera is not something that you think of right away when you think of the fine arts. People can say a lot of the time that opera is a dying or a dead art form, and that could not be farther from the truth. Operas are still being written every day. And what we find when we take operas into schools and bring students to the Opera House is they're so excited by this art form because it's different, but there's a familiarity there that they didn't realize. They're hearing opera on commercials and in movies and on TV, and they connect with it in a really intimate way through these programs, and I think we're creating audiences for a lifetime. I have been involved in education in the arts for a long time, and I can tell you the effect that it has on students is life-changing. Kids who participate in the arts are more creative, they're more focused, they have better creative thinking and reasoning skills, they're more collaborative. I see this on a daily basis, and it's hard for people who don't work in this to see that, but these kids, once they're participating in the arts, have a brighter future. It helps them to become connected to their community and find a voice for themselves when they may not have that voice any other way.